Jordan Peele's movie Get Out is a masterclass in horror and social commentary. We start with Chris, a young so-called African-American man who's visiting the family of his so-called white girlfriend, Rose. From the get-go, things feel off. Rose's parents are overly friendly, and it's just weird. You think it's just awkward family stuff, but no, it's way deeper than that. Chris soon realizes that something seriously creepy is going on. Rose's family has this messed up plan where they lure black people to their estate to transplant the consciousness of old white folks into their bodies. Yeah, it's as wild as it sounds. This movie is like a big, scary metaphor for cultural appropriation and the exploitation of black bodies. The tension builds up as Chris uncovers the truth. It's like being on the Titanic and realizing there's no lifeboat for you. The horror here isn't just about jump scares. It's about the unsettling reality of modern racism and the way it creeps into everyday life. Get Out isn't just a horror movie. It's a critique of liberal racism wrapped in a psychological thriller. It makes you think, it scares you, and it leaves you with your jaw on the floor. There is this concept of the sunken place that appears at the crescendo. This isn't just a creepy plot device. It's a profound psychological metaphor that hits hard, especially when you think about where society is heading. The sunken place represents a state of powerlessness and psychological paralysis. It's where you're fully aware of what's happening around you, but you have no control over your actions. In psychological terms, it mirrors conditions like dissociation or extreme helplessness, where the individual is mentally disconnected from their environment and their sense of agency. From a societal perspective, the sunken place can be seen as a reflection of the increasing feelings of disempowerment people experience today. With the overwhelming influence of media, technology, and systemic structures, individuals often feel trapped, aware of the issues around them, but unable to affect change. This aligns with the script's major commentary on how society is devolving into a state where genuine productivity and merit are overshadowed by manipulation and superficial engagement. In this attention economy, people are constantly bombarded with information and stimuli, leading to a sort of collective ADHD. This constant distraction keeps individuals from taking meaningful action. They become passive consumers rather than active participants in their own lives. The sunken place then is a metaphor for this societal condition, where people are mentally alert yet psychologically immobilized by the structures around them. Don't be addicted to your own pain and suffering. It is not required, and certainly not the prerequisite to success by any means. In fact, the path to success can often be fun while sometimes easy. Have you ever noticed how everyone seems to tell you to work hard, grind harder, put in the hours, wake up early, but nobody ever tells you what to actually work on, except maybe to go to the gym? Somehow this is going to make you successful because nobody knows what to actually do. Maybe because there's nothing to do. The world is now flooded with computer science degrees. Everyone's got one. I think computer science graduates have tripled within the last decade, and companies are now laying everybody off because they just don't need these useless degrees anymore. What has really happened is we've moved on from the knowledge economy. Rationality, merit, science, none of these things really matter anymore. In today's era, we're entering this post-science, late-stage capitalism era, where mostly it's just about power. If you have power, then you get what you want, and screw the science, right? Ignore that. You can manipulate the data by now. People have realized how to game the system in order to achieve the results that they desire. Beyond that, we've reached peak technology. We've essentially invented digital drugs, digital opioids like short-form video TikToks, and that has really obsoleted the need for any future technological innovation. People don't need any more apps or games when they become couch potatoes. What more do digital drug addicts need after all? They're totally content stewing in front of their videos. These short videos and TikToks really provide people with everything. They tell them how to think, what to do, where to go, what to buy. Even with something as innovative as Apple's Vision Pro VR goggles, nobody even cares anymore because we've moved on past the knowledge economy. We are now in an attention economy where the number one skill is not STEM. Nobody cares about STEM. The number one skill is your ability to gain attention. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to succeed in the new attention economy. If you can't, if all you know is some STEM degree, science or something, then you're going to fail. Nobody cares about that. Science doesn't even matter. Nobody believes any of the science or data or research papers. Science has become a means of manipulation. Just trust the science. There have even been recent reports of 11,000 peer-reviewed scientific papers being retracted as science has faced an existential crisis. More than 70% of researchers have tried and failed to reproduce another scientist's experiments. What matters more in this world isn't the data, but instead having some big influential celebrity voicing an opinion. Whatever that opinion is becomes truth. It becomes fact. The other thing I think these tech companies have realized is that with the COVID era and all the remote work, that not only can they do remote work, but they can actually just outsource all workers altogether to third world countries where people are cheaper and work harder. Americans especially can't compete. No one wants to hire Americans en masse anymore. The American workforce is expensive, self-entitled, and overall lazy, quite literally. They tend to be social activists. Who wants that on their team? Regardless of what you may think, most don't. If one wants to be truly foolish, they could go to college and get themselves into massive student debt pursuing anything other than one of the few degrees which have some future career possibilities. Then by pursuing this degree, which doesn't have any form of long-term value, try to dig themselves out of that debt through decades of wage slavery in a 9-to-5 cubicle. Maybe, just maybe, they might break even or turn a small profit before finding themselves old and withered away from a sedentary lifestyle, sickness, or having savings destroyed with runaway inflation, and ultimately discarded and replaced by artificial intelligence or outsourced workers as companies churn through their employees. At this time, there's just little to no more opportunity in the traditional 9-to-5 world. That's why I've decided to just entirely stop trying to be productive in traditional ways and focus on my highest gifts, which some of you are experiencing firsthand at the Meta Center, which are bringing many Meta Center supporters, family, friends, as well as myself, dream fulfillment. In late stage capitalism, which is where we're at now, there is no actual productivity left. It's a zero-sum game, and there's only a few ways left for anyone to make money. One of these ways, which many are drifting toward due to the lack of constructive productivity, is scamming. We have fees, convenience fees, tips upon tips, 20% tips, 30% tips, just give more, inventing wars, GoFundMe and charity donations for fake diseases, people pretending they have cancer, dark patterns everywhere, the psychopomp, the entity within the shadows of the subconscious starting to make its debut. Notice how every single iPad app is a monthly recurring subscription. There are credit card fees everywhere, speeding tickets for even going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. They're not actually protecting the roads or making anyone safer. It's just there to collect money. Taxes going up without any apparent upgrades to infrastructure, hospital bill scams, insurance bill scams, HOA housing bill scams. Sometimes you're paying thousands of dollars and there's no service, no yard, no amenities, nothing. What is this HOA fee for? Oh yeah, they're scamming you. All of this is because we're in a stagnant economy. There is zero productivity. Whatever you're doing out there for your line of work, keep in mind it's not productive. If you want more proof that there's no more work to be done, and we have reached a stage of zero productivity, just look at Apple. They just completed one of the largest buybacks in history, where they had so much excessive cash they didn't know what to do with it. They couldn't find anything worth investing in, nothing worth research and development, didn't need to hire anybody. They just took that money and bought back their own stock. When we take a look at the overall tech landscape, the metaverse failed, Web3 failed. These could have been entire massive revolutionary industries that would have employed huge swaths of Americans. The whole industry was shut down by regulation, some say purposely. After that, we were eventually thrown back into the Web 2.0 era of a blast from the past of mobile apps, oversaturated, tired old apps. There's just no more opportunity there. Not only are consumers tired of these apps, but all of the APIs and data that these third-party apps would traditionally have relied on to provide services are now being shut down and blocked off for AI. No company wants to release their AI data anymore to anybody. Nowadays, almost every single API is shut down and siloed off from one another to prevent AI data scraping, thus incapacitating most third-party apps in the process. Another major headwind in tech worth mentioning has been deglobalization, where the world is starting to split into separate factions. Whereas in the past, tech companies had global reach, today most tech companies have had their reach actively blocked by other countries. Russia, China, the BRICS nations have raised their own digital firewalls. Tech companies are just not as profitable as they used to be, as they are now becoming domestic local companies. Some of you should check out the lore of Cyberpunk 2077 or Shadowrun. Is tech done? What about a STEM degree? Is it done? Is merit done? Nowadays, working is like swimming upstream against the inflation and printing machine. I recently read the Bitcoin Standard, and what I came to realize is that when the U.S. came off the gold standard in 1971, it was quite the devious move. Through that, they unlocked the full value of the U.S. GDP and household economy for taxation purposes. Whereas in the past, all they could do was raise taxes, but your personal property would always have value. It was backed by gold. Now they could just print and inflate all of the U.S. GDP value away. Now we're paying off our debt by issuing more debt, with the U.S. national debt rising by $1 trillion every 100 days in some death cycle. We are no longer in a knowledge economy or anything science-based. We are in an attention economy, media-based. Most apps these days have already been replaced by influencers, content, and video in the world of influencers because fundamentally there's no right or wrong answer. We don't live in an objective world. The right answer is whatever your favorite influencer or content creator tells you is the right answer. Whatever they tell you to buy, how to live, how to think, that is what you will listen to. In today's fast-paced and increasingly disorienting world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless, much like Chris in Get Out. The Sunken Place metaphorically captures the psychological state many people find themselves in, aware but immobilized by societal structures and external pressures. As we navigate an era dominated by attention economy and systemic manipulation, it becomes crucial to find spaces that offer genuine empowerment and clarity. The Meta Center, Chicago, founded by the visionary Dr. Delbert Blair, stands as a beacon of hope in this chaotic landscape. The center's mission transcends conventional understanding, offering insights and tools that address both the tangible and metaphysical challenges of modern life. Here, individuals can break free from the metaphorical sunken place, reclaiming their agency and consciousness through esoteric knowledge, holistic health practices, and metaphysical exploration. If you're feeling overwhelmed or in despair, it's important to remember that you're not alone, and there are steps you can take to regain a sense of control and purpose. Here are some thoughtful and realistic suggestions to help you navigate these challenging times. Pause and reflect. Take a moment to step back from the chaos. Sometimes, like in the Sunken Place, our minds can feel trapped by external pressures. Give yourself permission to pause, breathe, and reflect on what's truly important to you. Limit exposure to negative stimuli. In a world dominated by attention-grabbing content, it's crucial to curate what you consume. Limit your exposure to negative news and social media. Instead, focus on content that uplifts and educates. Seek community and support. Connecting with others who understand your struggles can provide immense relief. Look for communities both online and offline where you can share experiences and receive support. The Meta Center, Chicago, for example, offers a space for like-minded individuals to connect and grow. Invest in self-education. Empower yourself with knowledge. Dive into subjects that interest you and can provide practical benefits. This could be anything from learning new skills, understanding metaphysical concepts, or exploring holistic health practices. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Techniques such as mindfulness and meditation can help you ground yourself in the present moment. These practices can reduce anxiety and help you gain clarity amidst confusion. Set small, achievable goals. Feeling productive can boost your mental state. Set small, achievable goals for yourself each day. These can be simple tasks like organizing a space in your home, reading a chapter of a book, or practicing a hobby. Focus on physical health. Your physical well-being directly impacts your mental health. Ensure you're eating nutritious food, getting regular exercise, and sleeping well. Small changes in your routine can have significant effects on your overall mood and energy levels. Seek professional help if needed. There's no shame in seeking help from a mental health professional. Therapists and counselors can provide you with tools and strategies to cope with stress, anxiety, and depression. Embrace creativity. Engaging in creative activities like writing, drawing, or music can be incredibly therapeutic. It's a way to express your emotions and thoughts, which can be very cathartic. Cultivate gratitude. Practicing gratitude can shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right in your life. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for, no matter how small. Remember, feeling despair is not a permanent state. By taking proactive steps, you can start to reclaim your sense of agency and find a path forward. Life is a journey with its ups and downs, and reaching out for resources and support, like those offered at the Meta Center Chicago, can provide the guidance and community you need to navigate through tough times. I hope you enjoyed this technological, psychological, and metaphysical rant. Let me know in the comments what you think. Until the next time we speak, take care.